If you're watching this right now, it's no accident. You've been underestimated, targeted, and tested. And instead of breaking, you sharpened your focus. Your precision didn't just stop them, it paralyzed them. They aimed at you, thinking they had the advantage, but in reality, they pulled the trigger on their own downfall. This isn't about revenge or empty motivation. It's about the power of clarity and execution. Before we dive deeper, take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 5,000 subscribers, and leave a comment for them. Let the world know you're standing strong and nothing can touch your focus. If this message resonates with you, stay with me until the end, because what comes next will change everything. True power doesn't scream. It doesn't demand attention with thunderous noise or desperate gestures. Instead, it moves like a silent blade, cutting clean and deep, leaving devastation in its wake, without the chaos of a storm. When you harness precision, your impact isn't just noticed, it's undeniable. It shatters illusions, breaks facades, and leaves your adversaries grasping at the fragments of their own downfall. Precision requires restraint. It demands clarity of purpose and the courage to focus relentlessly on what matters, dismissing every distraction. This kind of exactness can be terrifying because it's impossible to argue with a truth delivered with such unwavering intent. While others are busy flailing, shouting, and trying to make noise, you're quietly dismantling their entire foundation, brick by brick. And that's what makes precision so lethal. It's unseen until it strikes. Like a surgeon's scalpel, it doesn't maim or wound. It eradicates. Your calm confidence becomes a weapon more dangerous than any loud explosion. When they realize the extent of the damage, it's already too late. The silence of your strategy speaks louder than any battle cry ever could. They thought they had you figured out. They saw your scars, your moments of weakness, and believed you were an easy target. But what they didn't understand was that every moment they underestimated you, they were setting themselves up for a reckoning. When they pulled the trigger, whether through betrayal, doubt, or dismissal, they didn't just aim at you, they aimed at their own undoing. The mistake wasn't in their aim, it was in their perception. They viewed you through a lens of their own limitations, blinded by their own hubris. They thought that striking first would weaken you, break you. Instead, it ignited something inside you that burned hotter than their fire. A relentless drive to rise above, to prove that their judgment was fatally flawed. This miscalculation is the moment where their fate sealed itself. They fired a shot meant to wound, but instead it marked the starting line of your transformation. Their ignorance became their vulnerability, and as you rebuilt yourself from the ashes of their doubt, the very act meant to destroy you only served to forge you into an unbreakable force. Focus is often mistaken for aggression, but in your case, It was something far more profound, a warning shot fired without violence. It was a signal to those who doubted your strength that you were no longer playing by their rules. Your unwavering attention on your goals was a declaration. You are here to rise, not to retaliate. You are here to outlast, not to destroy. This kind of focus is a calm storm. It draws strength from within and radiates an aura of inevitability. It says to the world, I am not distracted. I am not broken. I am moving with purpose, and nothing will deter me. Unlike reckless vengeance, this focus was a promise to yourself to honor your growth and refuse to be pulled back into the chaos others wanted you trapped in. They saw your silence, your refusal to react, and mistook it for weakness. But your focus wasn't just a weapon. It was a boundary. It protected your energy, your peace, and your future. Every moment spent honing your clarity was a step away from their noise and a step closer to your own unstoppable ascent. There is a profound difference between fighting back and becoming the standard by which others are measured. Fighting back is reactive. It's a response born from hurt and anger. But becoming the standard is proactive. It's creating a new reality where your strength and integrity define the rules of the game. Instead of engaging in their battles, you built a fortress of excellence around yourself. Your actions, your discipline, and your results set the bar so high that their attempts to undermine you looked petty and futile. You became the quiet example of what true power looks like, not through noise or aggression, but through consistency, mastery, and unshakable confidence. People who once doubted you began to see you as the benchmark. You redefined what success and resilience meant, not just for yourself, but for everyone watching. In this way, you didn't just win, you changed the game entirely. And that kind of victory is permanent. The most powerful response to provocation isn't confrontation, it's silence. They were waiting for your outrage, your pain, your fury, expecting that you would fall into their trap. But when you met their attempts with calm indifference, you threw them into disarray. Silence became your most formidable weapon. Silence isn't emptiness. It's filled with strength. It holds space for reflection, for clarity, and for power that others don't recognize until it's too late. While they wasted energy trying to provoke a response, you conserved your strength and kept moving forward, unshaken by their attempts to break you. Their frustration grew because silence gave them no foothold. It denied them the satisfaction of control. When they realized that you weren't going to play their game, it left them isolated, exposed, and powerless. In that quiet, you reclaimed your narrative and owned your peace. Destruction is easy. Creation takes courage. You didn't resort to burning bridges or tearing others down to get ahead. Instead, you lit your own path, steady, deliberate, and illuminated by your vision. This wasn't about revenge or chaos. It was about forging a journey that no one could derail or distract. Walking your path alone requires strength few possess. It means accepting the loneliness of leadership, the weight of responsibility, and the challenge of staying true to yourself even when no one else believes. But that solitude became your sanctuary, a place where you crafted the life you deserved on your own terms. By refusing to destroy connections, you preserved your integrity, and while others stumbled in their efforts to break you, you quietly built a legacy that no betrayal could tarnish. Your path wasn't just your salvation, it became a beacon for those who dared to follow. True mastery is not about striking down opponents. It's about revealing their vulnerabilities through sheer excellence. When you master your craft, your emotions, and your purpose, you don't need to fight dirty. Your strength becomes a mirror that reflects the weaknesses of those who tried to diminish you. Mastery demands discipline, patience, and relentless improvement. It means showing up every day, honing your skills, and refusing to settle for less. And in doing so, you create a standard so high that it exposes the cracks in others' facades, exposing their envy, insecurity, and desperation. They might have tried to hide behind deceit or manipulation, but your mastery stripped those masks away. Instead of being dragged into their petty battles, you stood tall and allowed your excellence to speak. In this quiet confidence lies a devastating power, one that leaves others vulnerable without you ever needing to throw a single punch. When others set out to break you, it's a reflection of their own fragility, not your strength. They believed your spirit was fragile, that their actions could crack your foundation. But what they failed to grasp is that the real break wasn't in you, it was in themselves. They underestimated the power of resilience, the fire that grows from every wound, and the wisdom that emerges from every betrayal. As they aimed their blows, hoping to crush you, they only accelerated their own collapse. Their toxicity, envy, and fear became chains they couldn't escape from. Watching them unravel was a testament to your strength. You didn't just survive their attacks, you thrived in spite of them. And in their unraveling, they revealed more about their own weakness than your own. You became the living proof that resilience is not about avoiding the storm, but about becoming the storm. In every battle, there's an outcome no one expects. The consequence so profound, it changes everything. You became that consequence, not by reaction, but by transformation. While they focused on destroying you, they failed to see what you were becoming, a force beyond their control, a reckoning they never anticipated. You evolved into a living testament to their failures and misjudgments. Your very existence challenged their narrative and exposed their shortcomings. This consequence was not accidental. It was the product of deliberate growth, hard-earned wisdom, and relentless pursuit of your truth. They never prepared for this because it required them to confront themselves. And that's where the real danger lies. You weren't just a victim or a target. You were the awakening they didn't want to face. And in that you held a power far greater than any revenge. The loudest battles often leave the deepest scars. But your fight wasn't about noise or rage. It was about ruthless precision. Every move was calculated, every decision sharpened by clarity and purpose. You didn't need to roar to be heard. Your actions spoke volumes in the silence. This kind of accuracy demands emotional control and mental fortitude. It means channeling anger and pain not into chaos, but into strategic power. Instead of wasting energy on futile outbursts, you conserved your strength for the moments that truly mattered, moments that changed the game forever. Ruthless accuracy cuts through confusion and doubt. It leaves no room for error or misinterpretation. When you operate with such focused intent, your impact becomes inevitable and unstoppable. You became the embodiment of calm strength, and that was your greatest weapon. They aimed blindly, firing shots into darkness, hoping to hit their mark. But you weren't a shadow to be hunted. You were the light that exposed every hidden corner of their deceit and weakness. While they operated in confusion and fear, you radiated clarity and truth. Becoming the light means rising above the darkness others try to cast. It means being a source of hope, resilience, and transformation, not just for yourself, but for those around you. Your presence disrupted their plans and shattered their illusions, forcing them to reckon with realities they tried to ignore. This light wasn't about brightness or showiness. It was a quiet, steady force that illuminated the path forward. Where they saw obstacles, you saw opportunities. Where they hid behind lies, you stood with unwavering truth, and that light became the beacon that could not be extinguished. Delusions are fragile constructs built on denial and fear. Your discipline was the wrecking ball that tore through their false narratives and shattered their illusions. While they clung to fantasies of control and superiority, your unwavering commitment to growth and truth dismantled their fragile world piece by piece. Discipline is more than routine. It's a mindset that refuses to be swayed by temporary setbacks or distractions. It's a daily choice to prioritize your vision, even when the path is lonely or difficult. Your disciplined approach wasn't just about achieving goals, it was about exposing the emptiness in their attempts to undermine you. As their delusions crumbled, they were forced to face the reality you embodied. A reality shaped by persistence, integrity, and unyielding strength. Your discipline became the truth they couldn't deny, and the foundation on which your unbreakable future was built. There's a misconception that emotional control equals coldness. But what you displayed wasn't lack of feeling. It was deliberate calculation. Every response, every decision was weighed and measured with care, not born from impulsive anger or blind hurt. Being calculated means understanding your emotions but not letting them dictate your actions. It's about choosing when and how to engage and refusing to give power to chaos. Your measured approach confused those who expected you to react with fury because It showed that you were operating on an entirely different level. This calculated mindset allowed you to navigate complex challenges with clarity and purpose. You became a strategist in your own life story, playing a long game that others failed to comprehend. And in that, your power was undeniable and deeply respected. While they wasted their time in petty games of manipulation, jealousy, and sabotage, you were building something lasting, your empire. This empire wasn't just about wealth or status. It was about self-mastery, legacy, and creating a life of meaning and impact beyond their reach. Games are temporary distractions. Empires are forever. Your focus on creating real, tangible value set you apart from those who remained stuck in cycles of bitterness and drama. You understood that true power comes from building, not tearing down. Every decision, every sacrifice, every lesson learned was a brick laid in your empire. And as your foundation grew stronger, their games became irrelevant. You became unstoppable because you were playing to win the greatest prize, your own sovereignty. At the end of this journey, it's not your growth or success that destroyed your detractors. It was the truth. Your evolution was a mirror reflecting everything they refused to see about themselves. And when confronted with that truth, they crumbled. Truth is unforgiving because it demands accountability and honesty. It strips away lies, excuses, and facades. Your transformation was the living proof that their judgments were false, their actions misguided, and their attempts to break you futile. They didn't fall because you sought to destroy them. They fell because they couldn't handle the reality of who you became and what that meant for their own stories. Your truth became the final reckoning, and it was more powerful than any act of revenge. Sometimes life burns you to the ground, not to punish, but to prepare you. From those ashes, you can choose two paths: surrender to despair, or rise with a fierceness that shakes the world. Rebirth isn't a gentle process. It demands fire in your soul and unyielding grit. It's about taking every broken piece and forging it into armor so strong that nothing can penetrate. Every scar you carry tells a story of survival, of battles won inside your mind before they ever reached the outside world. When you embrace your past wounds, you don't just heal, you transform. You become a phoenix, soaring higher than ever, fueled by the very flames meant to destroy you. This is not a comeback. It's a rebirth with purpose and clarity. But rebirth also means shedding old skin, old fears, doubts, and toxic connections. It's a conscious decision to release what no longer serves you, even if it feels like losing a part of yourself. This pain is necessary because true growth demands courage to let go, trust yourself, and walk boldly into the unknown. The world may have expected your end, but you rewrote your narrative. In your rebirth, you found your voice, your power, and your destiny. You no longer chase validation from others. You create your own light, your own truth, and your own unshakable future. Not every fight happens in the spotlight. Most of the hardest battles take place in the silent war within, the relentless struggle to stay focused, to resist the pull of doubt, to overcome fear. This invisible war shapes champions because it's the battlefield where true character is forged. While others seek external victories, your real triumph was conquering the demons inside your mind.